Dímelo, mi gente. What up? It's your boy Gus back with another podcast.
Gus via jewelry.
Once again, terrible intro.
That's awful.
Awful intro.
Whatever, who
Awful
cares?
intro, dog. We're out here, though, dog.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So this is episode 3 of the pre-recorded episodes. I always like to kick these things off with a little introduction of who I am talking to. Today, we have someone who's going to continuously be on the podcast. Let me just give you the full deets on what's going on.
Yeah, please, I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I thought I was doing this podcast, and I was going to have like a plethora of guests here all the time, and people were going to just be jumping at the bits to get on my podcast because I was so interesting. And little did I know how horribly hard it is to get a guest on the podcast. So, you know, with scheduling and all that crap, and it just makes it so impossible to get someone on. So I said, you know what, man? I'm going to sit down to someone that I like to kick it to. We could talk about some real deep stuff, just like we could talk about some non-deep stuff, and it'd be funny, and it's going to be really cool. So the person on the left of me, or the right of me, as you guys are going to see, is someone who's my friend. He's a DJ here, local Miami.
World champion DJ.
Yeah, hell yeah. We talk a lot of smack. Without further ado, my boy DJ Melo, welcome back to the podcast.
What's up, dog?
And it's called Let's Talk Bling, and I'm keeping that name, even though everybody absolutely hates that name. And it has nothing to do with the podcast.
It's not a bad name. Who the hell said that?
You know, I've got a feedback. It's not good.
Feedback. You took a straw poll.
No, here's the thing, though. A lot of people talk like, oh, let's talk bling, right? So we're going to talk about bling, but we don't ever talk about anything that has to do with jewelry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. You're a jeweler, though, so that's going to be the name of the thing. You know what I mean?
Right. But
And I normally like to trash your names and your ideas, but that's not a bad one. I mean, what's the alternative? Let's come up with a name right now
Let's
for
Talk
it.
Bling, the podcast. Well, I mean, I could come up with a better name, but probably
Okay.
not on the whim like that.
Did you have any other ideas?
Yeah,
before?
I had one idea, but it was like super basic. And then, to be honest,
More basic than Let's Talk Bling.
I stole this one from. I didn't actually steal it. I modified it from someone. I have no idea. It was like, I don't know. I think it's called Let's Talk Politics or Let's Talk Science. And I was like, oh, what kind of is jewelry related? Oh, you know, let me just put two and two
Let's
together.
Talk Bling. I mean, but it, you know,
Yeah,
wasn't
now
that
it's
bad.
Let's Talk Bling.
But it was only 2 options.
Yeah, it was it. Yeah, so I went with this, and I'm gonna roll with it,
Yeah,
even
let's
though
roll with
I
it.
genuinely never talk bling with anybody.
Yeah, no, you haven't. You never have.
No, never have.
You know, talk about that chain though.
Let's talk about it.
I was
dog.
looking
It's
at
a
it
little-
earlier.
It's a little try.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's 3 colors. It's white, yet gold, yellow gold, and rose gold.
You like that?
I like it.
Do people like it?
I don't know.
Do
It's
people
kind of
buy
like
it?
no.
You know?
So
I wouldn't buy it.
no. I mean, it's a love and hate. There's some people that are like, yo, this is fire,
No.
and then there's other people that are like, nah, I'll probably never wear that in my life.
Yeah, because it looks, you know, I
It's,
don't know.
It's like
weird.
yeah, but it's also expensive in a way because it's 14 karat and it's pretty heavy, and so people might just buy it just to be like yo, dog, you ain't up on this, dog. You know what I'm saying? That kind of vibe, or it's rare, kind of like that Palm Angel shirt.
Or like these shoes that I'm wearing.
Yeah, those are the Quantum, the Yeezy Quantums, right?
Yeah, they're ugly, but like I can tell people like, you're not up on this though, dog. Like, let me see your pair. You know what I mean, dog? Pause.
You loser.
Yeah, dog.
But
I get that.
It's funny you say that, man, because your shirt, we were just talking about it off camera, right?
What's wrong with the shirt?
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with the shirt, right?
Yeah,
I vibe with the
okay.
shirt, but there are a lot of people that say, damn, that's crazy. It's just it's a $200 shirt when it just literally looks like every other shirt. But
Yeah.
yet here I am. I got a bunch of Palm Angel stuff too.
Yeah,
Why the
right.
hell do we do that?
Well, this one's fake. This one's $40. I ain't Hialeah. That's off rip. No, I'm kidding. It's not fake. God damn it.
It's
But I
fake.
do have a couple in rotation. I'm not gonna say here and lie. You're from Miami, dog. You know what I'm
that
saying?
are
Like, where
sketchy
I'm-
at best,
like,
my
you
boy.
ain't up on this, homie.
You ain't up on this fraud.
Yeah. You got the real one, son. I got the fake
Get
one.
up out of
kid.
here with that, son. Get up out of
Yeah,
here.
dog. Nah, I mean, why do we do it? Because we're in Miami, dog. Like, that's really the only reason. Would you go to Nebraska and wear their shirt? Like, there's no reason to be in Nebraska wearing the shirt.
No.
We're in Miami. You
No,
gotta look
no,
the
no.
part. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
out. You're in the scene. Like,
Right.
imagine you're in your podcast or doing your videos and stuff, dog, and you're wearing Ayun Hanes with a bacon collar, dog. You know,
that's
versus a Palm Angels, whether it's real or fake, dog. It looks
Right.
good.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? I mean,
I think it's also like if you really And not to get too deep about a stupid ass shirt, right? Because I mean, let's be serious.
Here we go, dog.
Yeah.
Here we go, dog.
Here we go with the serious.
Yeah, dog.
Talk.
Música dramática.
Yeah. I mean, it goes down to say, like, especially a city like Miami, we genuinely live on appearances. It's all about that front. And I think that as superficial and as vague as that may sound, especially in a city like Miami specifically, there is often so much that you have to front, and not even front. Like I was just listening to another podcast out there. I don't remember who the hell it was, but they were talking about, it's the Theo and Harris podcast. It's with these two guys that, whatever. The point is, if you watch watches, you know who they are. And it's not even that's what their name. I think their name is something else. But they were talking about like how the watch world specifically has a lot of these people that just buy watches just to be in the community of other people who also have watches. So in other words, let's say, for instance, I want to get into this exclusive club or an exclusive chat that talks about watches and all this other crap. I have to go out there and buy a watch that I could probably not afford just to front and say, like, look how much money I got just to be in that particular group. Yeah. And I think that like parallels to the life that we live here in Miami, unfortunately. Whereas, like, if you're a DJ, you're out in the club, you're out in these bars or whatever, you have to ultimately put on this front like you are this well put together guy in style with this Palm Angel shirt that is insanely overpriced.
Yeah,
it's
$200.
$200.
Overpriced. It's literally like a shirt with like a screen print of an airboat, right?
Getty Images.
And
It's not even
Getty,
there.
Yeah, it says Getty Images.
It's not even
so they
there.
got a shirt, right? And they screen printed a Getty Images. Like, do you even have to pay licensing for that? Like maybe
Probably not.
$5-10 if anything.
Yeah.
And then they just slap here Palm Angels.
And how much was that retail?
No, well, this was on sale, is why it was $200. And the only reason why I bought it, and it was Afterpay.
Oh yeah. So you broke it down into 4 monthly installments,
interest free. Okay.
That's awful.
Nevertheless, it's interest free, dog.
Yeah.
What does it matter if I pay it in 6 weeks or if I pay it right now, dog?
Yeah,
200 lucas. No
Yeah,
more,
true.
no less, dog.
Yeah, but why
But it
do
was
you-
on sale. It was actually $400. When it first came out, it was $400. I don't know. They came out with like a Miami like theme Palm Angels thing that they did. Like they had another one that had like the Miami Arena like logo and it said Palm Angels and it had a bunch of stuff. But this is one that I liked. I don't know. It was simple. I like the airboat. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a cocaine cowboy. Whatever.
But had that shirt had something else other than Palm Angels, had you bought it?
No, absolutely.
That's what I'm
not.
talking
That's
about
terrible.
right there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Just that like.
Well, you know what? Maybe because it's a Miami theme, but that's just a me thing. But I don't know if
Right.
that's like a, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought it was cool because of the airboat. Because like I said, there's other Miami shirts, but I didn't get those because those were kind of ugly. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, dog. There's a line, dog. You know?
Right.
This was like the most simple one. There's some like designer shirts, dog, that it's like they make them. Like if like, yo, I dare you to pay $800 for this, dog. Cause that just means that you're what's the word for it? You're an idiot, dog. Yeah. You're out there wearing like a Balenciaga like fur. You look like the Grinch. Have you seen that? I saw something. It was like a pink or purple.
Yeah.
Tipo ahí like in a turtleneck. Dog. Like, come on, dude. You paid $1,200 probably for that. Because you know those long sleeve sweaters are like mad expensive, dog.
Yeah.
It was like a Balenciaga or I don't know what it was. It was designer, dog. El tipo was out there, dog. Like, papo.
They got some.
Hasta cuando, dog.
They got some disgusting shoes, bro. Designer shoes are legit some of the grossest shoes out there. I would rather pay. Look, I did that one time, right? I don't buy designer shoes. I just buy regular kicks. I did that one time with the Gucci Gazelles that they had that collab or whatever. And I went out there like an absolute moron.
Was it those just the basic ones?
Yeah, just they were
Gucci on it?
Gazelle. They just said Gucci on them, dog. And I was like, oh, these are hard. And at the time, I really thought they looked hard.
I mean, they're not bad.
They're not bad, right? But they're not
Gazelles.
$1,000 for a pair of Gazelles that I go to Marshall's, my guy, and get them for like 30 beans, dog. Like, that's ridiculous. But that goes
just
to show.
They slapped on the Gucci. On
That's it, dog. It quite literally looks like a Gazelle, and in a very, very small print, it just says Gucci. That's it, dog.
Nobody's ever gonna see
Give me
it,
a
dog.
stack and look at my dumbass walking into the store. Oh, I don't have
Y
them.
de una, dog.
Yeah.
Y de una.
Here's a stack. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, there are kids dying in Africa, in the Ukraine, and I'm over here.
You could have donated.
Yeah,
over there,
dog, and I'm over here giving away still money, but-
you look super cool, dog.
Yeah, but
what
that's
you do? You still have them?
Hell yeah,
They're
I
still in the
got 'em.
house?
Yeah, I still got them. But they like make my feet look long, and I got like super wide feet.
Yeah,
and they're just
you're an ugly person. Period. I can
to
even
be fair.
imagine.
Yeah. To be fair, this is all.
Yeah, I can imagine what your feet look like. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna put $1,000 on that? ¿Pa qué, bro?
Dog, it's
You know what
it's
I
one of some of the worst. And the thing is that they're just those type of shoes that are just a constant reminder to be like, bro, I'm out here with a looking stupid as all hell, dog. With fucking $1,000 shoes that I genuinely shouldn't be wearing now, but here I am, dog. Just like
You
you with
should
this
sell 'em,
pomade.
dog.
Nah, I'm not gonna sell them though.
But this is a cool shirt too, though.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's not a bad shirt. It's not like I'm out here wearing algo ridículo, though. It's nice. It's Miami. That's what I'm about, man. Miami, dog.
I want to talk about some things that I got brought up when we were talking last time in the podcast. If you guys haven't heard it, the last time we did a podcast, it was pretty stupid because we got banged up.
What are we doing now?
No, this
What's
is-
the difference now?
No, this is just equally as stupid, but we got banged up.
Yeah,
Banged up.
We're sober now. It's actually we haven't drank since the podcast, believe it or not.
That's a lie. We got wrecked in a half, and we did what was supposed to be a 1.5 hour, or actually just an hour podcast,
Yeah.
like this podcast is going to be.
Oh, you're talking about like the
very first one.
We did two. Remember, you were
Did
like
we?
on my podcast, and then we were.
Oh
on
yeah,
yours,
yeah,
but
yeah.
The first
yeah.
one was
the first one, me,
Yours.
yeah, real podcast. And I remember we got a lot of comments of just people asking a bunch of questions. And one of the questions that kind of struck me and I thought that was interesting as well was there was a lot of people in there who were who found out that being a DJ was like this lucrative career. And it's
Yeah.
like this underworld that a lot of people don't even know about. They know
Yeah.
that people's a DJ, but it's mostly known as someone who does like something as a gig, right? So I want to know, like, I genuinely want to ask you because I know how you are, but I think a lot of people would find that interesting. For someone who does something that is so, how would I say it? Like, you're the life of the party, the heartbeat of the party. You're quite literally the party.
Right.
People just listen to whatever it is you play. And that's what you do on a daily basis. But ultimately, it's what you love doing.
Yeah.
Which is very, very interesting because a lot of people don't have that opportunity to do. So, number one, tell me if you feel like you're fortunate, do you sometimes take it for granted? Because we do talk about this off camera that sometimes you'll complain about a DJ gig, and I'm like, bro, you're a fucking idiot.
I know, my bad, Tiesto.
Yeah. Because there's so
Yeah,
many
man.
people out there that want to live out their dreams, like to be a basket weaver, and what they are is an accountant at some super high end firm, and they're just miserable.
And they're bringing bread though.
And they're making
But
bread,
they're miserable.
But they're mentally
All right,
miserable.
freaking Gary V now, dog. You're gonna start flipping shit. You're just gonna turn into that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a balance, I guess, man. Like, it's psychological, dude. Like, I posted a video today, right? I showed it to you earlier because you don't even follow me, by the way, which is hurtful. But whatever. Anyways,
I do follow you.
No, not
Yeah.
on your jewelry page.
All right, I'll give you a follow.
Yeah,
I'll give you a follow.
dog.
I'll give you a follow.
Like,
Give you a follow.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
I'll give home another
No,
shot.
it's DJing itself, man. I think it's bigger. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than thinking about or taking things for granted, man. Like, it's I mean, I get it. Like, I'm emotional about it. Like, that video that I made was like, it was like life of a DJ, right? And it was like crazy, aquí the smoke, y la fiesta, y la, la gozadera.
Right.
A mí me la confirmó,
Yeah.
But, and then at the end of the night, it was like Stewie, like, oh, I'm going to go to bed now. And then he turns over and he starts crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
That's
it's like
trending all over the internet right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm on top of it, dog.
I'm
Come
on
on,
top
man.
of
You
the
know, I'm trending,
trends,
dog.
dog.
Look at me, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in
I got the
Palm Angels,
GBJ
papa.
hat. You know what I mean, dog? I'm not
Get it.
even matching, cuz.
Yeah, cuz.
Pero no, I mean, it's a balance, bro. You can't get too high or too low on certain things, right? And I think it's the same thing when it comes to those gigs. Like, you got to think about it like, people are willing to give you money no matter where it is, dog, and good money at that. You know what I'm saying? To like do what you love. That's what I came out here to do, dog. And like sometimes I'm like, man, do I really want to take this gig or should, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, bro, 5 years ago, me would have been like, ¿qué, dog? Yo voy para allá de cabeza, dog. It doesn't matter what it is, dog. So it's you kind of have to catch yourself, man, because you could get, and I tend to do that, man, honestly, where I can get too high or too low, like where, I'll be at a super high end place and I kill it, and now I'm raw, and then I could be at either at a high end place or another place, and maybe it wasn't a night that I thought, was a good night for me and my standards, and I'll be like, damn, dog, like, should I quit? Like, you know what I mean? Like that, dog. Like, I literally sit there and I'm like, damn, dog, like, and like I'm falling off, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I should probably just quit now, like this is, and then that's where you get caught up on the, damn, now I have to do this gig when I also do, or I was used to do this gig, or like things like that. So it's kind of a balance. I don't know. It's hard to really say. But once I kind of like center myself, I realize, bro, I'm so like, bro, I'm great. I have to be grateful. I'm very lucky, dog. I'm very lucky to be doing this because there's a bunch of guys that would love to be like, this is all I do. This is my business. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to do that as well. You know what I mean? And they're working towards it. And they'll get there, dog. It's just like once you get there, I think that's the actual hard part, right? Which is, I think that, not to get too deep, but why they say like fall in love with the process more as opposed to the result. Because now that I've gotten the result that I wanted back then, now I'm like,
Yeah.
goddamn, I'm sorry I cursed, but
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. we could throw a couple F-bombs in there, just as long as they're not like a majority of it.
Yeah, no, I get emotional about this stuff.
Yeah. I sometimes I look at your situation too, man, and I look at my situation, and sometimes where like, sometimes it'll, I just had a friend, we know Mike, we got a mutual friend who was just talking quite literally the other day, and he was like, got caught up, he's a nurse, right? So he obviously went to school, and he gets paid a certain amount of money per, paycheck or whatever it is. And then he was going back, and he's a hardcore entrepreneur though that just uses nursing as essentially a way of keeping a steady income so that he can get approved
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
No,
Dude, Mike is hardcore into that. But even him told me the other day, he came over and like we're checking out the new space or whatever. And he, by the way, people don't know what they're talking about. We're going to be opening up a jewelry store. Gus Villa Jewelry is going to be opening up a jewelry store here in downtown Miami, as opposed to just a shop. So he was helping me like scope out the areas. And he just spent basically the day with me, and we did a couple of deals. He saw a couple of sales come in, and we started talking to like other jewelers, and the other jewelers were saying what they were doing. And the point is, he was in the world of like jewelry, and he went back to my crib, and we were like knocking back like beers or whatever. And he's like, bro, like I needed this today. And I was like, what did you, like, what was it about today? And he's like, I got so used to the past, like, 4 months, even though this is my second crib that I bought, I'm only 35 and I already own 2 properties. And he's the second crib that I bought. And he was just like, I needed to be around people that weren't, number one, nurses, but number two, that were making moves in a big scale. Because I was telling him, like, this is what we make when we do this. This is our sales. This is like, we went and spoke to my other boy, Rudy, who's also on the podcast. And he was talking about like how he was moving this money and that money and like these watches we were slinging. And you're talking to like these thousands and thousands of dollars. And not to say that that's the pinnacle of success, but when you really want to be outside the bubble doing what you love, he needed to not hear just what a nurse made or what they did or like that's all. He started getting complacent with just making a paycheck and not pushing himself like he did, even if it was outside of the real estate realm. Like just the reality check of being outside and meeting and seeing other people, I think is really huge. And that's why you and I have these conversations off the phone. Because sometimes I'll be like, yo, so how's that gig? And he'll be like, it's all right. And it'll be like, it'll pay this. And I'm like, bro, like that's crazy to me that you're using that tone to describe something that you're doing. And that's why I say it to you out loud so that you can repeat it to yourself.
Because when you pointed it out, I was like, damn,
dude, right, I was there when you didn't have any gigs full, when you were working at T-Mobile, you know what I mean? And you weren't this DJ, you weren't going to any gigs, and we were just some 2 scrubs trying to make it, me with a camera and you with a DJ thing. And that's what it was. So now that we get these opportunities, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, where you have to like self-reflect and realize, dude, I am probably one of the luckiest people. We have to be within the 3% of the world's population that gets paid to do something that they love, bro.
It's crazy. Dog.
That's crazy.
It's you know what it is, I think, man, like, and this is literally a battle that I have with myself every day is, okay, I'm grateful that I have all of this, but I also want to strive for more, right? So sometimes it's like, it's not so much that I'm not grateful for what I have. It's just that I feel like I'm capable and I'm able to do more, and I can continue to work and do more things and work harder to get more stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in my career.
But here's
So it's
something that I
you
genuinely think that you struggle with, and that I struggle with too, but I think I'm a little bit more aware. And sometimes I would want someone to tell me the same way I'm telling you. You have this crazy tendency to compare, because comparison is the thief of joy. It is so fucking true, bro.
yeah,
and that
very
shit
true.
kills me, man.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll look at other Julius and I'm like, damn, dude, I should be there. I should be there. And then I start looking back to where I was 5 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's like I'm happy. But you do
Right.
that very often, and it eats you up
Yeah.
inside, bro. And you are this super talented DJ. But again, it's something that I see you internalize all the time. And so like sometimes I have to kind of snap you out of it
Yeah.
for you to realize where the hell you are. But I want you to like touch on that, because I think it's something that you struggle with.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what ends up happening is like
And it's kind of what you were about to talk about right now.
Yeah, what ends up happening with that, to just piggyback, is like you kind of end up like losing a little bit of confidence, dog. And in this industry, like the excuse me, the DJ industry, you have to have it's just you by yourself. You're not Daft Punk, you know what I mean? Like,
You're not the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, dog, so you have to have that confidence, to go out there and get it, because people feed off of that, right? Remember, like you said at the beginning, like you're the life of the party, so you can't go out there like, hey, I'm gonna, play it safe, or I'm gonna just like, whatever. You gotta go out there. You gotta be confident, like with what you're playing, like. Even if we're not playing our own music, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not singing songs out here, but at the same time, I don't know what the scientific process is, but when you're not confident, it translates to what you're playing. Even if you're playing something that you've done a million times, like if you're not confident, so it's almost like a, I don't know, self-fulfilling prophecy, dog, where like I sit there and I'm like, damn, dog, like I'm not doing that, so like I must be a scrub. So and I'm at this gig now, but I guess maybe because I'm thinking about the other stuff, like, maybe it's it's just the confidence. You don't have that same confidence. Sometimes I feel that way, you know what I'm saying, like where I have a very high standard. Like I want every single party to people just be going off the wall, and maybe that's not a realistic thing that can happen, but if that doesn't happen, I feel like, damn, dog, on top of the fact that I'm thinking about, man, I could be doing more, I should be doing more. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have kind of like done a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like where now it's, I don't know the word
you're
for
almost
it.
like plateauing in a
That's
way.
right. That's the word. It's like, that's what it feels like. I don't know if I am or not. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm still getting it. Maybe it's part of the process. Like, whatever it may be. But definitely, when it starts feeling that way, it's like when we talk and you're like, all right, dog. A la misma vez, dog, like get a grip.
Yeah, because it's
know
like,
what I'm saying?
Because then it begins to like your own journey into just trying to get better, which of course they always say is like your whole life should be like this giant pursuit of you trying to get better or whatever the hell it is you're trying to do. But I think that a lot of times in life in general, it's so easy to just plateau, bro.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just do that. So I think I look at some people in life, bro, and I hate it because they're so happy, completely happy, being like just living life in a very normal way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like I'm some sort of like bullish, Gary V or like Merrill Lynch.
I get what you're saying, 'cause
Broker
I
guy
feel
who
the
like
same exact way.
grab life by the horn, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and I wake up and like just swallow 19 podcasts of motivation. Like, that's not what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying
no.
is like, I have this ambition of what I want to do, and I feel
Right.
like the people around me have this ambition that it's crippling with anxiety sometimes. Truth be
Absolutely.
told, it's just,
a million%, dog.
that's just is what it is.
1,000,000%.
And then you look at some other people out there who are completely content living, a life as a person who makes X amount of money, 30,000 with or whatever it is, who just has enough to maybe feed their kids or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But sometimes I look at that and I envy it, bro, because I'm like, damn it, dog, I wish I could just do that.
Yeah.
I wish
They're super tranqui, dog.
Papo.
They get their check. They get home, chilling.
Dude, everything.
You clock out.
You clock out. Your biggest problems or whatever problems you have at work.
Yeah.
And you go home and like that's it. And you do 30 years of that. And then you get a heart attack and you croak.
Yeah,
and
see,
that's
there it is. Yeah, there it is.
But guess what,
no,
dog?
that's what
Is
I
there,
don't like, dog.
But is their quality of life happier than ours, bro? Because I sometimes feel like it is. I feel like we're
maybe some people are actually content with that, right? Because not everybody is the same thing. Like, do what you love. So if you love to be a janitor, dog, go out and do it, dog. And that's what's gonna be your life, dog. If you're generally happy doing that, then yes, dog, no problem. But there's a lot of people, and the majority of the people, I think, I don't know, I'm talking shit, but I would assume that the majority of the people are just like are scared of that, having that like crippling anxiety, because then they look at us and they're like, damn, dog. Like, cool, that's super cool what he's doing, but at the same time, dog, like he probably has tremendo anxiety, and it's very true, dog. So it's like, which one do you go for? But here's the thing: I've done both, right? So I this is only me speaking for myself, but I've done both, dog, and I had the same anxiety on both of them. So if I'm gonna have anxiety, might as well do, might as well DJ. Dog.
it sucked on both of them, man.
Yeah, dude. So if nothing's gonna be easy, dog. Like even if you live that life of you get your check and you do all that stuff, yes, you don't have to deal with all the extra stuff, right? But you just have to deal with the fact that like this is it, dog. Okay, you wanted your end, like your conclusion of your life. Here it is, dog. Now you just gotta ride it out until hopefully you get to reach your retirement age and actually enjoy it. Yeah. And I think that's like whack, dog. Like to me, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. I'm not saying you're whack if you do it. Like, no, if you're happy with that, you're happy with that. But to me, I couldn't do it, dog. I couldn't do it.
I used to have this homegirl, right, many years ago, who was a lawyer. And I always think of her. I don't know why, man. Every time I think of these types of situations, I always bring her up. I won't mention her name, but she's a really good friend of mine. And she went to school at LSU and to become a lawyer. And she busted her ass to go to school, and she sacrificed everything, left school, went to law school, and quite literally, I mean, if there are lawyers out there listening to this podcast, you know the kind of struggle that you go through to pass the bar and to go through whatever and to go law school, blah, blah, blah. And she killed it, bro, and she became a lawyer. And to me, that is like one of the pinnacles of success. And yet, when she got out, her biggest dream was to work for this particular law firm. And she wanted to just be an employee of that law firm, And she made it. She's a lawyer, right? I'm not talking about like she's like a bagger at Publix. You know what I mean? She did it. She 1,000% did it, what most of us aren't gonna do. Yeah. But I remember sitting there talking to her one time, and we were like out on the balcony, and we were like talking smack about, I don't know, God knows what. And I was like, man, what are you gonna ask for? Like, I just asked her, like, she was talking about, oh, I'm like broke for something, or I don't know. I was like, girl, you're a lawyer, dog. Like, how the hell you broke, my guy? And she's like, yo, dog, like, no, this is how much I make. And I think it was like 130,000 or whatever it was. And I was like, man, bro, but like, wouldn't you want to get out and like go out there and start your own firm, even if it's like Alex Hanna, like pay your tickets here.
Anna John Levine.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Morgan and Morgan, all these crazy law firms. Like, wouldn't you want to do that? Like, wouldn't you want to take that next step so that you don't have to just pay that 130,000? And she looked at me and she goes, nah, like that's not what I want to do. I want to work for somebody. I'm happy knowing that my paycheck is coming on Friday. And dog, that shit left me thing, dog. Like it was like someone went bagada and just stuck yeah, dude. It was like, damn, bro. Like I questioned everything. I was like, man, is that the right way to do it? Because she's a lawyer. Again, she's a lawyer, dog. Yeah. I'm not talking about like she's a, whatever, representative, a customer service representative in some call. She's a lawyer, fool. And she said, no, man, like I don't want that. What I want is this. I want just security. I want that. And she lived it. And I said, man, that's not wrong. Yeah. So like at the time I was trying to open up a business and I'm like, damn, am I doing that's wrong? So it's like all these little hurdles you have to jump to eventually be your own boss. And number two, like do something that you love doing. And it's crazy. Those hurdles are crazy.
No, it's nuts. It's a lot easier to just do what she's, you know what I mean? Like, not in the sense of like she had to bust her ass to be a lawyer, obviously, but once she got there, now it's a lot easier to just do that as opposed to continuing and now going through this like ring of fire and this whole charade to get to another type of level. And that's what I was going to tell you right now. It's like she could be happy, and I can't speak for none. And there's also no, once again, reiterating, there's no wrong answer to this, right? There's no wrong answer to what makes you happy, dog. But I'm going to compare it to kind of like this. This is the only thing I can kind of compare it to, that to see si me explico, dog, because sometimes, que yo soy medio bobo. But it's like when I was really scared. I'm still a little scared, but like when I was really scared of flying, and you were like, bro, you wouldn't want to like see other places, da da da. And I used to just be like, bro, I'm already in paradise, which I am, right? I'm already in paradise. I'm happy living here and not going elsewhere. But it was more so because I was scared of getting on the plane. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the point where I made myself content. You know what I mean? With like, yeah, dog, I'm chilling, dog. I'm here in paradise, dog. Like, I'm good. But now I flew. I had no choice, dog, and I had to fly a couple times. And now I'm like, oh man, now that I see what's on the other side of that fire, right, of that whole loops that you have to go through, now I want to do that more. Now I realize that that's actually better, right? So I think that that's what happens with a lot of people. It's like, it's not that maybe they're not miserable, maybe they are happy, dog, but they're just more happy that they don't have to go through this fear, this anxiety, all this stuff to get to the other place. They're like, you know what? Like, they look around, they see where they have to go, they see the other spot, and they're like, I'm actually pretty good here, dog. And they could be pretty good there, and they just won't, you know.
So
what
are
I mean?
you saying, are some people just kind of convince themselves that what their situation is better, and then that's it? They're just kind of happy?
Dog. And then, I mean, the mind is a powerful thing, though. You can really convince you. I was convinced for a really long time. I genuinely felt like I don't need to travel. I'm all right. You know, I'm all set. I'm chilling, you know.
Yeah.
I genuinely felt that way. But behind that is that fear of flying. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have the fear of flying, then it wouldn't even be an issue. Like, I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be like, no, dog, let's go to France. Let's go to, I don't know, wherever, dog.
One time I heard this stat. I don't know if it's true or if I'm totally making it up, but I'm pretty sure I heard it at some point that it goes like 90% of the thoughts that you have that give you fear and anxiety never end up being true. Something crazy like that. Yeah. Something crazy like that. So I remember always thinking that, but you know, it goes to show in your process of growing and becoming that next person and taking those levels that ultimately scare people so much. There are a lot of things that we as like professionals and a DJ and a jeweler and things like that we have to step out of our boundaries that make us so uncomfortable that it's unbearable. And I think one of those biggest things, especially right now in this day and age, is number one, not knowing where your paycheck is coming from because shit is so rough out there. You know what I mean? Number two, exploring ways. My biggest thing is like exploring ways to market your business. So many people are so afraid to put themselves out there in whatever it is that they do, you know? We live in the city of Miami, which, let's be serious, that's crook city out here. Everybody's got a job and a side hustle, 1,000%, right? Yeah, a little fraud on the side. You got to have a little fraud on the side. So what ends up happening is like you get a bunch of these messages from people that are like, hey, man, if you ever get in a car accident, bro, let me know. Or they'll be like somebody that hits you up with like an Amway or like
what is it, the Forex?
You know, one of those type of things, you know, and not to say that they're scams or anything, but like everybody's out there hustling,
trying to make something happen, dog.
And so it's so easy to sit back into your cushy job and be like, oh, look at this guy being, you know, going out there and you're another one bites the dust of these guys that are doing this, you know. It's so easy to sit there and criticize, but what you're not realizing that there's people that are putting themselves out there, their reputation, their online social media.
Because they know what people are saying about those type of people. You know what I mean?
It's no secret. There's memes about them. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And the fact that they're still going out there, putting themselves out there, even if 90% of them aren't going to be successful at what the hell they're doing, the point is they're still going out there and they're still doing it. You know what I mean? Like you in social media. You know what I mean? Even though you're inconsistent as all hell in social media.
I'm not inconsistent. I literally, I did it for a really long time straight, and then I stopped. I'm back.
Yeah, no.
But inconsistent to me would be that if I did it one day and then 2 days I did it, and then another day I did it. I think, you know, doing it months in a row and then not months in a row, that didn't, in my head, it sounded a lot better. Never mind.
Pablo, that is quite literally the definition of inconsistency.
I'm back. Oh, yeah, I'm back. No, but the thing is, too, dog, like, again, going back to this thing ain't easy, dog. Like,
Nah.
and this is not an excuse, dog. This is just
No, you about to hit me with that
tremendo excuse.
Yeah.
No.
1,000%.
No,
Here
it's
comes
not
the
easy.
excuse.
Like, same thing though. Like, it's psychological, dog. Like,
Yeah.
you have to get over that. You know, I think it was like 3-4 months straight, every single day posting, dog. And nobody really gave a shit, right? Which, and that's the thing, is that's okay too, dog. And that's the thing that you have to like realize. And I don't, like, I'll say it, like, here's the thing too, like, a lot of things that I say, whether in my videos or whether it's here as a DJ, there's probably other DJs that feel the same way, but they won't ever talk about this. And that's another reason why I'm not scared. Like, I know that maybe if some other DJs watch this, they're like, oh, bro, you know, like, maybe I wouldn't say something like that, or like, you know, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like, I know a lot of DJs that feel the same way that I do. You know what I mean? That have either told me or I've heard from somebody else, or like whatever the case is. Like, we all have that like anxiety and that all that other stuff, right? So that's whatever. But damn, I lost track. What the hell was I even saying anymore?
You were I was about to get into
about the
it.
content.
Christ,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry. It's a lot. I have a lot of I'm an idea man.
Shut
you know
up.
what I'm saying?
Shut up, you
So like, you know, people didn't give a shit. So like, and it was really hard for me because every single day to come up with an idea. We had that thing to like, where I was gonna use the studio, but then it was like really far, and I have Olivia and my daughter. And it was just a bunch of stuff because what we were thinking, or like the ideas that you would give me, is like just try to shoot it all in one day, or at least most of it in one day, and then the rest you can maybe get while you're out, you know, DJing or whatever the case may be. But it just wasn't, because of my lifestyle, because of all the things I had to do. I couldn't drive all the way down here, drive back, pick up Olivia and Pine. It was where everything is like super, super far. I know it sounds like excuses, whatever, but at the same time, so I would have to do a video a day. Right, so I have to come up with a new idea every day. I have to go on Chat GPT, on Reddit. I went to the dark web. No, it was a whole thing.
The dark web.
No, not the dark web. But anyways, you know, and eventually I was like, bro, no one gives a shit. You know, like, and I'm here like giving myself even more anxiety, dog.
Yeah.
Because it's not something I'm comfortable with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I'm comfortable with. And that's you have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But it's like being out of your comfort zone for so long, and then it's like you did all this, it still didn't like necessarily like work out or whatever. So I was like, bro, I'm gonna take a little break. And originally I said, I'm gonna take a month break, dog. And then 1 month turns to 2, and then 2 turns to 3, dog. And then eventually I was like, all right. Like, that's it. Either you do it or you don't. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not gonna do it, like, you're not ever gonna do it,
Yeah.
right? And you have to, man. You have to get yourself out of that comfort zone. You gotta do something different. And I think when I was doing it, a lot of people, like a lot of other DJs that I would have never thought, like, DM me and were like, yo, dude, like, keep doing what you're doing, dog. And I'm talking about guys that have been doing this for a really long time. And I'm here talking like I was a 30-year-old vet, dog, telling you what to do. You can take a little, you know, whatever, dog.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that I was afraid of. Like, what are these guys gonna think, dog? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And maybe 90% of them probably were like rolling their eyes, but like 10% were like, yo, dude, like, that was actually really dope. Like, keep doing that. Like, to actually go out of your way to send me a DM, that actually felt like kind of good. And that's kind of maybe I hung on to that 10% to like kind of like re-kick it back. And just like kind of gave me time to like think about, like, you know, just go out there, have fun, dog, do it because you like to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying this time around. I'm not trying to put that pressure that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's more so just do what you like to do, and eventually, like, things will fall into place. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going with, dog. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
No. It's a crazy story in the sense of I struggle with that same shit too, bro. Like, there are some times, you know, I haven't been a jeweler for 35 years like some of these people have. And when people always talk to me and they always call me and they'll tell me, yo, guy, like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I own a jewelry business. Because I never really tell people I'm a jeweler. Just recently, I would say the past 3 to 4 months, I started saying, hey, man, I'm a jeweler. Right? Because it just kind of simplifies things as opposed to being like, oh, well, you're a jeweler if you own a jewelry business. I'm not. Right? Because the thing is, in jewelry business, there are people, especially here in the city of Miami, that are actual motherfucking jewelers, dog.
Right.
Who know how to, you could put rhodium, you could put a piece of platinum, you could do all these different types of things, and they'll know how to do it, they'll know how to work it, they'll know how to tell you about metals. They are real They're for real, dog. I'm a for faker, right? I know how to make a chain. That's cool.
Yeah, but
right?
that makes you a jeweler.
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
make you
no,
like,
that makes me a chain maker. That's the difference. No, it is. No, it's true. No,
I don't
it's
agree
true.
with that.
Look, to put it into context, it would be like me telling you a guy who only does weddings is calling himself a real DJ, and it's like, no, you just know how to do weddings. It's a very
he's a DJ.
specific.
It's a category.
Yeah, okay. Then I'm a jeweler. No, because I know how to make it. No, there are actual jewelers. So what's scary about it, especially in the jewelry world, is the experience that a lot of people have in this world. And I think also, not more so than the jewelry world, is the ugly watch world as well. Because there's the jewelries, the jewelries, the jewelers, and then there's the watch guys. And the watch guys is even a nastier community.
Yeah.
Because they're it's a community of people who have the more money typically than the average person, right? Because most jeweler or most regular people are going to be spending $35,000 on a watch. Maybe they'll buy one, but they're not going to buy several of them. Right. And the people who collect are the people who are the jeweler, the watch guys, right?
The jewelries.
Yeah, the jewelries watch guys. And they are even nastier. And sometimes when I first started this YouTube stuff, I used to sit there and be like, man, what are these watch guys going to say about me? Because don't get me wrong, I love watches. I collect them, etc. But at the end of the day, I am not the most well-versed when it comes to insane nuances. I have a really, really good grasp. Rolexes and the brands. Yeah. I know reference numbers, so I could even fake it like I know what I'm really talking about. But there are guys out there that can give you like the year of production on a certain piece from the 80s, and if it came with a certain dial, with a certain whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And they look at me and they're like, Pablo, get out of here, YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about, loser?
YouTuber.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, hell yeah. So
influencer.
So in essence, I started curving my content because I would be like, oh, what are these guys gonna think of me, bro? What are they gonna say? Like,
that's a killer, dog.
And some of these people, I see them in here in the jewelry district, and I look at them and I'm just like, oh, these guys are gonna shit on me. They're probably looking at me like I'm some loser. You know what I mean? And I had to sit there, and maybe about a month ago, Creep and I, the guy who runs this podcast, is my boy, and we started talking about it, and we spoke about this very thing, and I was like, bro, motherfucker, what they think, dog, honestly. And it's not, and dude, this is me having a jewelry brand. This is me doing it. I get just as insecure about the content that I'm going to create, just like anybody else. So it's not, and I'm sure even at the highest level, you're going to get it, but it's going to have to get to a point where you're going to have to say, bro, what they think.
Yeah, respectfully.
I'm just gonna, respectfully, but I'm gonna do whatever the hell it is I want to do. And if it comes out bad, then it comes out bad. But it ain't that deep, cuz it ain't that deep.
Yeah, no, that's what I always say too, dog. But we're only human, dog. You know, I mean, that's why I applaud like that. You just push through it, dog. And I'm eventually gonna get to that point where I could just push through it. And I feel like right now, it just so happens I just started doing the videos again, so I'm in that zone, right? So. But eventually, shit's gonna get hard. You know what I mean? Like right now, I feel like great. You know, I took a break. Now I have new ideas. I got to put some funny stuff. You know, people reacted. But eventually, it's gonna get hard. And I commend you so much for pushing through that your own head, right? Because that's what it is, dog. It's a super killer, dog, of anything that you do. What are people gonna think? And if we fold to that, we wouldn't, you know, like have the businesses that we have. You know, like your business, like my DJ business, like we wouldn't. Yeah. So now it's like applying that, and you do it. I need to do. I need to push through that. Like, well, what are they gonna think? Like, it almost felt like I was putting even more pressure on myself to like perform like even better because now I'm doing all these different things.
So people don't. So I think a lot of people don't really know what you're talking about. It was creating content about DJing. On Instagram. Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was creating content about DJing. What like little tips that I knew, right? And I think that's one thing that helped me kind of get through it is like I wasn't here trying to like pretend like I knew everything. I was just talking about what I knew and what worked for me, which very well could not work for every single person, but it could work for a few. Mm-hmm. You know, like my goal was just to like reach, you know, if it did reach anybody, you know, and I feel like it did because, you know, like I said, people reached out to me, like even like newer DJs and like the older ones that were just like commending me for even doing it in the first place. And I think that's a big testament to like, even these DJs that know a lot and been doing it so much wouldn't even put themselves out there and do it. Why not? Like, if you have all this information, all this knowledge, like, why not like share it? And it's not because they don't want to or they're selfish. It's just like, it's really hard to put yourself out there, dog, because, you know, what are they going to think?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was doing the content thing. I was doing some funny stuff, but I was also like trying to keep a balance. Like, because the thing is, I also wanted to show my personality. And I'm just a guy that's always like cracking jokes. I'm always like, you know, talking shit, you know, whatever. So like, I didn't want to be too serious. There was some videos I would make that was like way too serious. There was other ones that were like maybe too funny. So it was like, but then again, who cares, right? Like, and I think that that's what I learned from that process, and I think it'll carry over this time around, and hopefully I don't quit like a little bitch.
Like a little bitch. No, I mean, the biggest thing that I always preach, bro, honestly, and this goes outside of just anything that I talk about on a daily basis, outside of everything, the things that I try to share with the GVJ team, specifically with anyone that like works close with me and I work with them. And it's probably the only thing that I could genuinely say, and this isn't to toot my own horn, it's to kind of lay out a blueprint if you're hearing this podcast, wherever the hell it is you are, and you have an idea of whatever it is that you want to do, whether it be, like I said, basket weaving, or like, you know, you're an alligator hunter or whatever the hell. Like, who cares what it is that you're trying to do? The biggest thing that most people fail on, I think, is your consistency, bro. That quite literally is all it is, man. We and not to put you down to bring me up. This isn't what I'm saying, but it's just
that's what you're gonna do.
No, yeah, but this is, but I'm about to shit on you. Like, the only difference between you and I when we first started this podcast, because we did that podcast and we were both launching YouTube channels at the same time, is some of my YouTube content has been horrendous. Let's be serious, right? Like, some of it's just boring. Some of it's good. Some of it's great. But every single time, every single week, no matter what, I'm consistent with it, right? Even if it's shitty, my Instagram doesn't change. And I think that a lot of people, the biggest detriment to them even stepping out of whatever it is that they're in is just their consistency.
Even when they do it.
Even when they fucking do it. It's
a prime example.
1,000%. Yeah, it's just sitting there and being like, okay, well, listen, even if it's not great, even if it is whatever, I'm just going to put consistency every single day. It's like that stupid podcast that I told you about, that he just said one of the most resonating things to me in my world, that I don't know who the guy is. Somebody's going to say his name, but he said the stupidest line, and I literally almost changed my life. And it was from a fucking podcast of a guy who has probably no insight in his way. Kevin Gates is his name.
What do you mean, Kevin Gates?
I don't know. I think it's
the rapper?
Yeah, the rapper. The rapper, fool. The rapper hit me. I'm pretty sure it was him who did it. Again, the guy... Let's be serious. I don't take anything he says serious. And everybody, as I always say, jumps on these podcasts and everybody wants to say super motivational shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what Kevin Gates does.
Because I wake up in the morning and just fucking eat 7 eggs and you gotta do planks and fucking, like, shut up, bro. Like, everybody out here is struggling, dog.
So
like,
that's what you're saying Kevin Gates does.
So no, he said one quote, and he said, consistency. If you lose your motivation, I'm paraphrasing. If you lose your motivation, just stay consistent. Consistency will bring back your motivation. And I did that shit. And that shit worked.
But like, well, okay.
So let's say, for instance, right,
go,
I'm coming out with like ideas. Me and Creep were quite literally 2 days ago, we're like, bro, we're running out of ideas with YouTube, and we're like not even 6 months into this.
Right.
Like, we shouldn't be running out of ideas for YouTube. Like, you're going down a really bad path.
Muy mal camino. Muy mal.
You're doing really bad if on month 6 you're already running out of ideas. So I sat there and I was like, man, like, maybe we shouldn't do something, all right? And then I'll give you the prime example. We have this thing called Q&A Fridays. I grab a bunch of questions, I throw them up in a little thing, we put them up there, and on Fridays, I just answer these questions. Simple content. I bang it out in less than 7 to 12 minutes, and then he stays and edits and does all the graphics, and we all get that done. Boom, boom, boom. That's a Friday episode, guaranteed.
Yeah.
For the past 7 or 5 episodes, the videos have been tanking. I mean, I'll probably get 1,000 views if I'm lucky, maybe 800 views if I'm lucky, whatever. It's not bad, but it's not great, right? For the amount of work that Creep edits with all these things that I'm talking about, and he's like highlighting, and there's After Effects, and there's and swirls and all kinds of crazy shit for like 8
It's like 3D. Your chair,
your chair vibrates. It comes out, gives you a hand job. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is
Only
wild.
800.
You get what I'm saying? And it's 800 views, so like it's trash, dude. You know what I mean? So and he tells me, he's like, bro, listen, like I think the Q&As are cool, but like we're not getting much traction on them. We're not doing anything, right? And so as I'm walking in, I see a guy stop me in the middle of the jewelry district, and I'm like, I told him while we were having this conversation, I'm like, bro, like, look, there are certain people that are gonna mess with this kind of content. They like it. And we don't know, but there are people that look forward to the Q&A Fridays because they're into it. We just don't see them. We don't know who they are. We just know that we get 1,000 views and that's it. But that's how Rome wasn't built in a day. Eventually,
build a community.
In a year and a half of doing Q&A Fridays might just be the staple of what we do. We just have to stay consistent. Right now, we're not motivated to do it, but let's just stay consistent. I'm walking through the jewelry district. Boom, walking, get it, right? Looking like a herb.
Gordo, and your little Gucci gazelles.
My Gucci gazelles. Like a stupid ass. And my $200 Palm Angel shirt like a dumbass, right? So I'm walking by and I hear this guy. He's probably going to listen to this podcast, so he knows I'm not lying. The guy comes out and I get stopped sometimes, especially only in the jewelry district because most people come in like to the store or whatever. And he goes, yo, Gus. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, he's from New York.
Yeah, no. He's just.
Oh, it's not that you give. I don't know why you give.
Hey, yo,
All right, let's pretend. You know, whatever. Who cares?
He's from the Bronx. And
based on a true story, then.
Yeah, the guy calls me over. He's like, yo, what's up, Gus? Like, very nice to meet you. I just bought a chain from you. I came to pick it up. Nice to meet you, man. I watch your Q&A Fridays every Friday. Every Friday, I put the notification on at 12 o'clock, wherever I'm at. I turn it on.
Crazy.
I turn it on, dog, and I watch. And we had just had this conversation.
That you're gonna scrap it
48 hours ago. That we had to stay consistent. That we were about to scrap it. Had I agreed with Creep would have been over the moon.
Elated.
Can you imagine? Like he doesn't have to edit.
No more. I don't have to give hand jobs anymore. God damn.
I'm not out here stroking guys for 800 views. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have been so happy. But I said, nah, bro, we have to stay consistent. And there he was, a guy that loves Q&A Fridays. And so I sat there and I was like, boom, right there.
And learning that was one guy.
One dude. There's probably several of them.
A couple hundred of them, really.
So
if you're getting 1,000 views, think about it.
So what if they don't watch it? And that Friday, we went out there and I did the Q&A Fridays, and I went in on the Q&A Fridays. I was like,
you were inspired.
I was like, doing that. I was all over the place, dog. I was giving it 110%. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hurt, dog.
Yeah.
Don't ask me if I'm all right.
Well, he's saying dominating.
Well, we're not doing it.
Yeah. So I gave it everything. Creep did an outstanding job.
He was inspired his own self.
Oh my God. He was like hitting the swirls around the watch. No. It was stupid. And we just changed a little bit of the SEO.
Yeah.
And it's been the best Q&A Fridays we've had. I have 2,000 views. It's not much. We have other videos with 170,000 views. But those damn 2,000 views have it just cemented what stupid ass Kevin Gates said in that podcast.
But now, so
full
time out.
circle.
Think about it like this too, though. What's crazy is, with all that being said, do you think that you would have had the same mentality if that guy hadn't come up to you?
Yeah.
So?
You have to. That's
so it wasn't basically because
no,
of that
no. That was just validation.
Okay.
And knock on wood, thank God I found someone who just gave me that.
Right.
But it didn't matter whether that guy was there or not. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You just have to stay consistent with whatever it is that you do. Yeah. Whether it be, like I said, trying to be a firefighter, trying to be whatever the hell you want to do. It's the consistency, bro. Goes back to the original point of the story. We both started this YouTube channel, and the only reason why I think I have 20,000 subscribers is because I've consistently posted twice every week, 5 shorts a week. Twice every week, 5 shorts a week. And eventually you stopped, and that's the only reason why. Because your content is just as good. You're just as charismatic. It's just as easy to follow. And there's probably even a bigger fan base of people wanting to see what you do rather than what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's the mind, again, I don't think about, I think the opposite. I was like, nobody wants to see this shit, you know.
My guy, I'm doing Q&A Fridays. Nobody wants to hear my shit. It's the same thing, bro.
Right. And I'm just talking about it out loud, like, because that's just a thought. That's what a lot of people think. I think, you know what I mean? I think it's good that we're both here where it's like, it's a good example and I'm the bad example. I'm the asshole. But I don't mean it in a bad way.
It's to make things relatable because I think
relatable.
I think a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, dog. I'm not out here the master of consistency, dog.
No, for sure.
Yeah. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm saying is like I make that example because there are people that are gonna find that relatable, and we're all there. We're all you. We're all me. We're all
exactly
the same.
It's just a matter of pushing through type of deal.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And then also where to take that to things to the next level, because it's not just about pushing through, and it's not just if an idea sucks, you gotta let that idea go. But at the same time, you gotta see it through. It's just like things that you do in certain situations that you have been like, for instance, you do a lot of content about DJing and stuff like that, and it may be time to pivot, but with the same consistency of talking about DJing in general. Like you also have to realize like, okay, cool. Maybe the funny videos aren't what it's about. Maybe the educational videos or whatever aren't what it's about.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, that's why when I was doing it, like I try to do a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? But now it's like, it's kind of like starting over again, right? So now I'm going to just have fun with it, you know, play around with it. And eventually, you know, it'll like, I guess the views or whatever will dictate, I guess, what I can go more with, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's what I'm doing now, you know? Like, one of the things that, like, was cool, but also I was, like, really dug, like, when I was doing it before, was I posted this one video during the Celtics Heat thing, the series.
Oh, yeah, with your girl.
And it was, because, you know, my girl's diehard Boston, I'm diehard Miami, and that video rocked the house.
Yeah, the button's red. God damn it, Creed.
It's been red. How long?
What do you think?
This podcast been
we've
going
just
on?
been just lollygagging, Papo. Now
you
55 minutes into the podcast.
Ciao, like this.
No.
By the way,
oh my God, Creep just asked if the Roadmaster or the Roadcaster,
the thing that records,
was on this whole time. Mind you, we could have been talking absolute trash, and you would have never even advised us. Yeah, you say something, you moron. What the hell's wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Yeah. No. You're chilling, dog. Hey, relax over there, dog. Don't worry about it, brother.
Chilling, huh?
My God. Anywho,
so I made that video, and that was the video that rocked the house, and it had nothing to do with DJing, dog. And I'm like, Manda, you know what I mean, dog? I was like, dude, that video I made in like 15. I woke up and I had that idea, and I was like, wait, let's do this real quick. We knocked it out, 30 seconds. Done, posted, rocked the house. The other videos, I was like, same thing, editing, frustrated, yelling at people, throwing things around the house and shit. and you know, and it like they went nowhere. It kind of went nowhere, but it actually did. That's the thing. Like, have a little perspective. Like, it actually kind of did, and like you said, if there was 5 views, it wasn't like I was getting 5 views either, dog. I was getting a decent amount, like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, you know, whatever. So it was still not bad. And even if like it was 5 people, you know what I mean? It's still 5 people, and you got to build that community. You continue to build off of it, dog.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna sit back and reflect on like, damn, I should have kept going. I'm gonna just start doing it. And I think that's what it is. Like, give yourself a little grace, dog, and then just rock it. Do it better next time, dog. And then you just push through it. And yeah, dog, eventually you learn. Because, you can get deeper and say, like, well, you got to scrap certain things if they don't work, whatever, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that's part of the process.
Yeah, that's analytics.
I think that the most important thing is to understand, like, that it's not always going to be easy. It's never actually going to be easy. And you're just going to have to push through it, dog. And eventually you're going to learn and get to wherever it is that you want to get to, dog. I think, dog, because you're an example of it. There's a million people that have done it, dog, that not a million, but there's people that have done it, dog, and continue to push through, dog, and whatever level that they're at, it's going to just be another challenge. Like, don't think that because you got to a certain place, kind of like going back to what I was saying about when I was in like my DJ career.
Plateauing.
Don't think that just because you got to a certain place, dog, that it's going to be now things are gonna get easier, dog. If anything, it gets harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So understand that and keep it rolling, dog.
I had the same situation creating content, man. Like for whatever reason, right now, like people can look on my YouTube channel. This podcast is probably only gonna get like 300-400 views. That's just is what it is, dog. Like, and that's okay. You know, whatever. Like I'll still do it,
but it's still not bad.
Yeah,
dog.
because I still enjoy doing the podcast. You know what I mean? But like I'll do these reviews of things that are just like so stupid, right? Like just doing
You did the
reviews.
perfume thing, dog.
No, well, that was with my boy Angel.
That
like
was
that
really funny,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. Well, we were
They gave you the
banged up.
stink-
Yeah,
You guys
we were all
Qué
wrecked
rico.
in a
They gave you the
half,
stink bomb. Dog.
Yeah,
How was
yeah,
that?
yeah. No, it was awful.
That's what it smelled like in here when I walked in. By the way, Qué horror.
Sounds like men.
But go
So
ahead,
yeah,
dog.
so we did this, like we do like these stupid reviews of like companies that people like, and you know I try to be politically correct
Yeah.
about them or whatever, and because I don't want to be like the super biased thing, but it's like
Yeah.
what you said about like you and Shelly doing this
Yeah.
Boston Miami thing. Like I put all this effort into these Q&As and like these other videos, and I do like insane research. Like it's not just I'm gonna come out with like a Moissanite video like all these jits do,
Yeah.
whatever, which is fine. Like I'm not knocking them, do your thing, but I go out there and I do research full. Like I went to different articles, magazines, trying to find out as much information, and I maybe got like 2,500, maybe 4,000 views. But I'll do like a review of like GLD chains, which is just like these crappy Chinese
bought a
chains.
chain from there
Yeah,
once.
and
It's awful.
fucking hell does that blow up, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is phenomenal," and I'm like,
But
"Bro,
that's the thing is that you got to see it through. I guess you got to see it through the viewers' like eyes as
Yeah,
opposed to like
for
a jeweler's
sure,
eyes. That's
for
what I was
sure.
talking about with Willie, one of our boys. He was showing me like this dude that was like literally blending two songs, and he was like, "This is amazing."
yeah."
know.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, no, he
why
did
don't
it
you
again.
do
He
that,
did it
you
again. He
dumbass?
told me that again. Right, because the way I look at it, dog, is that's really easy to do, to just blend two songs
Sure,
together, right?
yeah, of course, whatever.
But like, and then I think about also like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna try to make it look super raw, and I'm doing the most simple thing, and my DJ friends are gonna look at me like an asshole because they
Yeah.
know that that's very easy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I've
yeah.
kind of like stayed away from it. But the dude that he showed me another one. Literally today we had the conversation, bro. The guy's getting like 300,000 views, 2 million views, like just
On-
blending the most simple things. He's doing it very nicely. I mean, you know,
Sure,
it's not like
sure.
he's out there just,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
He's doing it very nicely and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's nothing that
It's
we haven't
simple.
already.
It's
Like,
simple dimples, man. And
dog.
here you are overthinking.
and here I am
man.
over like I'm like, dog, why am I gonna do that?
And it
dog?
goes back to saying it, 'cause
it's-
it's what-
you're seeing it from a DJ
Yeah.
as opposed to like
or
the viewer.
what other DJs are gonna actually
like,
say
yeah,
about
yeah,
you.
yeah.
When who gives a fuck
Yeah,
what they're gonna say
exactly.
about it? To
So,
be honest with you, bro.
I mean, but oh yeah, let me tell you something though.
Mm.
One thing I wanted to say, speaking of what people have to say and all this nonsense,
hit me
dog.
with it.
What do you think about Tipo Este? Just to set this off, yeah. What do you think about Tipo Este? They said that the NBA is now world champions, though.
Who
Did
said
you
that?
see that?
No. Who said that?
God, dog.
Who said that? Just give it to me.
Well, okay, whatever, dog.
What is it?
Tipo.
Damn, this is a crazy left
yeah.
turn. We're gonna talk about sports right now. All right, cool.
No. Just
No,
I don't
no,
know, 'cause
no,
I was,
okay,
I
cool,
don't know.
yeah.
Whatever,
China.
dog.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. It just came to my head, dog. Because this guy just. I'll tell you why. But whatever. He goes on. He won like the gold medal and the current. Something happened recently with the track and field, right? So this guy wins the race, gets first place, the whole shenanigan, dog. In all fairness, I haven't seen the entire interview they did, but like the what went viral and was the dilemma is that he went on and he was like, oh, it really upsets me that the NBA players, when they win the title, they go out and they say that they're world champions. They're not world champions. Like, we're world champions, dog. Like, it was just
What?
unwarranted, dog. It was super unwarranted.
His
one.
sport wasn't even basketball.
It was track and field. It was like this is the reason why it came up to me, dog, because
What an
I
idiot.
feel like he raced and trained his whole life to have a platform to say that.
To just say that one message.
That was his goal in life.
Like,
dog,
Papa,
and he
that's what
pushed
you
through,
used
dog.
it with? Like, that's what you
And
used?
That's what you use your
Your
lifeline
30
on, my
seconds of fame. You fucking
Bro,
moron.
he goes and he says that, dude. I was like, bro, what are you even saying? It was like
Oh.
a Stephen A. went
Oh,
on. Stephen A. was so mad. He said something like mad and inappropriate. He had to apologize.
Oh.
Because it's so dumb. You know what I
Yeah,
mean, dog?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
dumb. Like, you literally worked your whole life to
Yeah.
get to this pinnacle moment. And when they give you a mic, Papa, this is what you say,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. But
me favor, dog.
stupidity gets clicks, bro. That's what this is about. Like, I can't tell you,
It's
you
so
know,
true,
not to spin off what you're saying and make it about me, but I'm about to do that.
Anytime he says not to do, not that I'm going to do this.
Not that I'm gonna do this,
but I'm going to do
this
it.
is exactly respectfully.
Hashtag, dog.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's so many times where people, even in the jewelry world, even in the DJ world, like, think about this for a second. If you were to go out there and put all this effort into making a dope ass DJ video, here you are blending 245
palm trees in the background.
Yeah, hell yeah. You take out your set like in Mount fucking Everest or like Niagara Falls.
Mount Everest.
You're at base camp in Nepal.
Niagara Falls. So
Yeah. And you're doing all this crazy shit. You're like, yeah. All right, cool. Or you can just go out there and be like, yo, David Guetta's songs are mad overrated. They suck.
They
and do
suck,
a one,
and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
And
and
here's
10
30
second,
seconds of-
a 10-second clip about something so stupid and controversial, and you're gonna get a 15,000 hits on that,
dude.
and you're gonna get 200 hits at Niagara Falls.
Think
Think
like
about
when I talked about the Rihanna Super Bowl that I said it sucked. No,
for sure.
The Riri Army went after me.
Controversy
dog.
wins.
Yeah.
I see it in my world. Like, there's so many times that people want me to talk trash about other jewelers or other jewelry companies or whatever it is, and I won't do it. Even if I genuinely don't think that their particular product is great, I will still say it in a way that still gives them credit, even as a company, because it's hard as to run a company. And I think that even if you're doing that, then so be it. But, you know, people want to trash. They want the drama. You know, me and Angel, they know him as Cubano on. He's a jewelry reviewer. We talk about this all the time. Like, bro, you can sit there and trash a bunch of companies and get all these views, and you could be popping on social media, but then you're just gonna look like that guy who's just doing it for the clicks, content for clicks, and that's not real. That's not really who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're saying is that guy is just saying that controversial shit. He's gonna go viral for it, more so than his achievement of winning a gold medal or whatever the hell he did.
Dumb. I don't know
Crazy.
why he did that, and
It's
he was
fucking
wrong
crazy.
also, by the way.
And he was wrong.
But anyways,
Dumbass.
Anyway,
Bro, no, that's it. We're at an hour. I hope you guys loved the podcast. This was it. We're gonna do the one episode. We're gonna do 10 episodes. I've already filmed 3. I got some other jewelers coming in, but you're gonna do like most of the episodes with me. Next episode, Creep is gonna grab.
Creep's gonna get in front of the
no. He's gonna
camera?
grab 10 topics that are trending right now, and we're gonna talk about it, because not only do I want people to talk about or hear some insightful shit that me and you have conversations that I think it's cool when people are privy to them and take that curtain off, because I think that we're two people that express ourselves with high vulnerability towards each other.
Yeah.
And maybe it's
almost
a lot,
shamelessly.
Yeah. And a lot
I
of people
forgot I was on the mic, and now I'm gonna look back and be like,
oh
God, I said that.
Yeah. And so
Thought we were at Flanny's at the bar.
yeah. And so I think a lot of people find value in that, but I also know that you have a crazy personality, and I want people to show that too. So the next episode, we're going to talk about trending things, and then also probably just talk about